What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, the obvious has officially been brought to us. We already knew this was coming, and that's the World Boxing Organization, better known as the WBO, President Mr. Paco, have now ordered the Towering Inferno, the unified WBC WBO junior middleweight world champion, Sebastian Fundora, the Mexican superstar boxer, to face off against his mandatory, which is now, oddly enough, the WBA junior middleweight champion, 4-division undefeated world champion, 2-division undisputed world champion, pound for pound king, superstar boxer, Terrence "Bud" Crawford. Now, we knew this was already on the horizon, as we know that Terrence Crawford initially petitioned the WBO to be the mandatory challenger at junior middleweight after he defeated Errol Spence back in July 2023 and became the undisputed welterweight champion. And then the immediate rematch clause got void. And then once it got voided, he petitioned to move up to 154 and be the WBO mandatory challenger, which at the time was Australian superstar, son of a legend, Tim Tszyu, was the WBO champion. But they allowed Tim Tszyu to have a voluntary defense against Sebastian Fundora. Initially, keep in mind, initially was supposed to be Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu, right? That was the voluntary defense. No belt was going to be on the line, right? And then Keith Thurman tore his bicep, and Sebastian Fundora was already fighting for the vacant WBC title as the co-main event on the undercard to Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman. And so what they did was they just automatically moved them up. And so what we got was Keith Thurman pushed out the way, and Sebastian Fundora, instead of fighting for the vacant WBC title, he ended up fighting Tim Tszyu in the unification bout for the WBC WBO title. He shockingly beat Tim Tszyu. There was a nasty gash Tim Tszyu suffered, and then he obviously inherited Terrence Crawford as mandatory. But he then turned his attention, and his team turned their attention to Errol Spence, the man Terrence Crawford just beat last. And Errol Spence coming up in weight, and they tried to go the route of Errol Spence. So the WBO said, listen, okay, Terrence Crawford is going to fight for the vacant WBO WBA title against the WBA junior middleweight champion, Israel Majimov. But then Sebastian Fundora cited an injury as to why he couldn't defend his title against Terrence Crawford as the mandatory, which allowed him to hold on to the belt. And he's still suspended till September 17th. So Terrence Crawford fought for the WBO interim title and the WBA super title, and now they ordered the fight. Now Sebastian Fundora has 30 days. But Sebastian Fundora and his team told me that if they can't come up to it with an agreement, they're going to vacate the belts and look to fight Errol Spence sometime late this year or early 2025. So you can expect Sebastian Fundora to vacate that WBO title. Again, he's still suspended till September 17th, and he doesn't have any plans to fight Terrence "Bud" Crawford. So he'll vacate the title. Terrence Crawford will be elevated, and he'll be the unified WBO WBA champion, as I told you was coming. But Samson Likovic, he did come out and he stated that he's waiting for Turki Al-Sheikh to give him, a call and look to make, a fight with Terrence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora. Turki Al-Sheikh backs Terrence "Bud" Crawford. And then he stated that, but at the same token, Sebastian Fundora saying his dream is to fight Errol Spence at AT&T Dallas Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So his team and him are not on the same page. I expect him to vacate this belt. If he don't, that's even better for Terrence Crawford. That shortens his route to becoming undisputed at 154. Because if he fights and comes to agreement with Terrence Crawford, then that means the WBC, WBO, and WBA titles will be on the line. That means Terrence Crawford is one fight shy of becoming undisputed at 154, which Tim Tszyu is going to fight against Bakram Matalia for the IBF title. And the winner of that, Terence Crawford, beats Sebastian Fundora, then guess what? Terence Crawford can fight the winner of Bakram Matalia and Tim Tszyu, and you best believe His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh backing Terence Crawford will make sure he put up enough money that the winner of that fight won't have an option to turn it down. So let's see how this unfolds. I like the fact that if Sebastian Fundora concedes and then fights Terence Crawford, again, that shortens Terence Crawford's route to becoming undisputed at 154. 3 belts to be on the line. Instead of having to fight the winner of Fundora, Errol Spence, and then still having to fight Tim Tszyu, Bakram Matalia winner. All he would have to do is fight the winner of Tim Tszyu, Bakram Matalia, should he beat Sebastian Fundora. Right? And then now make him a 3-division undisputed champion. 140, 147, and 154. That speaks volumes, and that will force Canelo Alvarez's hand. And it shortens the route because he'll be 37 September 27th, right? Terence Crawford will be. So now he does that in under a calendar year, right? Well, not so much under a calendar year, because if he fought Fundora, it'll probably be around December, and you know, maybe a little bit later than December, but around December, January, and then next year, early next year, get Sebastian Fundora, get Tim Tszyu, Bakram Matalia winner, and then by late next year, get Canelo Alvarez. That makes sense. So that's all I got for y'all. Drop a comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram, Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone.